Thank you, Chair. And thank you all for coming today. I appreciate your concern about plastics, real pollution. So climate activists, though, on another topic, climate activists and political ideologues in this building, we have many of them, are using the Great Barrier Reef as a prop in their propaganda war to convince the public that carbon dioxide from human activity is causing unprecedented and catastrophic warming. These ideologues falsely claim that the reef is dead or dying. Does the GBRMPA agree with these ideologues that the reef is dead or dying?
Well, I think, Senator Roberts, that GBRMPA can reflect upon the health of the reef and the issues the reef is facing insofar as that relates to your question. It was a broad question in terms of inviting GBRMPA to potentially comment on a range of views put by unspecified individuals, but perhaps in terms of reef health issues, Mr. Thomas.
Is the reef dead or dying?
The reef is certainly not dead, Senator. There's vast areas of vibrant coral out there for people to come and see and enjoy internationally. But it is under pressure, and we certainly do say that climate change is the biggest threat to the reef and is impacting it. Not these under future scenarios, it's happening right now.
Are you aware that bleaching was first recorded scientifically around about, I can't remember if it was 1916 or 26, and that in June 2008 we had a bleaching event on the southern tip of the Barrier Reef due to record cold temperatures?
I am aware there's been previous history of bleaching on the reef, yes.
Thank you. So let's just jump straight to the climate issues. On your website, you strongly advocate policies for reducing carbon dioxide from human activity to reduce the global temperature and therefore protect the reef. Can you please tell us what will be the change in global temperature if Australia were to reduce its carbon dioxide output from human activities to zero?
Senator Roberts, it's not really a question for GBRMPA. Those questions, as I know you've done before, can be taken up with CSIRO. GBRMPA's expertise relates to the Great Barrier Reef.
Okay. Well, let's go to then the Great Barrier Reef and your organisation. On who do you rely upon to come to the conclusion that human carbon dioxide can have a detrimental effect on the Barrier Reef? What I would like to know is not only the entity or the publication title or the entity name, I'd also like to know where that entity or that publication specifically presents the empirical scientific evidence showing that carbon dioxide from human activity affects climate and needs to be cut. I'd also like to know any locations, specific locations, page numbers of anything unprecedented happening in climate that could affect the reef, and also your awareness or lack of awareness as to whether or not there's any statistically significant change in climate that you're aware of and which page numbers we could find that. Those three things.
Senator, we take this topic very seriously, and we do use the best available science at any one point in time around climate or any other matter as it affects the reef. We draw that information from places like the CSIRO, the Australian Institute of Marine Science.
Excuse me for interrupting. The CSIRO in cross-examination has admitted to me that today's temperatures are not unprecedented. Not unprecedented.
Okay, Senator Roberts, Mr. Thomas was partway through his answer. Please let him conclude. And equally, I don't think it's helpful in these exchanges to paraphrase or select responses from other agencies. I think Mr. Thomas was...
Senator Birmingham, you just suggested that I refer to CSIRO. I just did.
Sure, Senator Roberts, you did in a selective and paraphrased manner. It doesn't.
That's their words, Senator.
You interrupted Mr. Thomas's answer with you're saying that's their words. It's not a direct quote you're giving, and I certainly doubt it's one in full context.
I'd be happy to share that context with you, Senator.
Gentlemen, we have 8 minutes remaining in this section. We have people who wish to answer questions.
Could I just put on notice, Chair, that I'd like those specific page numbers to the evidence, the empirical scientific evidence that proves that carbon dioxide from human activity affects climate and needs to be cut. Secondly, the location of the statistically significant empirical evidence that shows there's been an actual change in climate processes. And thirdly, the exact location of what you consider to be unprecedented, if anything.
Certainly.
Order. Senators, you were heard in silence. Mr. Cahill, when you get the call, I'll let you talk. Senators, You are heard in silence. Please do not harangue people just because you disagree with their view. Mr Cahill.
Senator, the department's happy to take that on notice, recognising that the Department of Industry, Resources, Science also has a range of material as well, and we will look to coordinate a document and references for you.
Yeah, I'd like to know the exact location of the empirical evidence that proves causation.